So, Stu, there is a very, very, very important article that I found on CNBC. Here's how to recognize a recession. And it's not what you think. Now, I'm only 58 years old. So it's almost 60 years of knowing what a recession is, because that's what they've said to us forever. Until the progressives took over. Now we need to redefine what a recession is. For instance, it's, sure. It's 2/4 of the economy, the GDP, contracting, 2 quarters in a row. We've always defined it like that. Although we've also known that there are other factors that go into it. But they're saying, this is not a recession, and we won't know if this is a recession for at least a year. Oh, okay. So just about the time that all the elections are over, in between the next election and this election, that's when we'll find out? Definitely not near an election. Okay, all right. So they're saying that this is the incorrect term. I think everybody knows we're in a recession, and I don't care what you call it, but this is what a recession feels like. In fact, I think a crisis is probably a better definition of a recession, but I don't care what you call it. It's what it feels like and what it actually is that matters. You know, it's like people saying, oh my gosh, there's a huge pod of octopi coming our way. Actually, it's octopuses. No, it's octopi. It's octopuses. You're both going to be dead with the huge pod of octopuses coming your way if you're arguing about the stupid term. I don't care what you call it. Lots of things with 8 legs are swimming towards us quickly. So now they're saying that, we'd be laughing stocks if we said that we had a recession when we were creating 400,000 jobs a month. Although that's not true. Were you saying that the job number, it didn't have 400,000? Yes. But what I'm saying is a lot of those jobs, aren't created. They're not like, you know what? We're going to build a tower to the sky. Which, don't get me wrong, I think the progressives might at some point propose, we're going to build a big tower to the sky. No, these are jobs like, can somebody please take the job at the fryolator, please? These are old jobs that we still haven't filled. And so the jobs that are not being created but are now being filled, in many cases, are being filled by a person who already has another full-time job. And I love the Twitter responses on this one from the blue check marks this week. I said that Monday, and the blue check marks, they didn't argue with the fact, because the fact is the fact. So they just said, that's not Biden's fault. That just means those jobs suck. Wait, it just means that those 2 jobs suck? Well, doesn't every Republican get that charge that, but their comeback, their growth is all with low-paying fast food jobs? Okay, so that's not the critique this time. The critique is somehow or another the main job that people have sucks and doesn't pay them enough, so they have to take another crappy job. Okay. Well, why are there only crappy jobs? Hey, maybe because we're not building a tower to reach the sky. This happens all the time, and it is so important. When you can't win the argument, you just change the language. Men can have babies. All right, well, then I don't ever want to be left out of the abortion debate ever again. Men can have babies. That's not a baby. That's a fetus. Can you please look up the Latin definition of the word fetus? Because I think it means baby. They change the words all the time. Now listen, this administration is changing some critical words. For instance, recession. Why? Because we're in one, and it's not advantageous for them to say we're in a recession. So change the meaning. How about this one? We're surrounded by domestic terrorists. Now, we all know what a domestic terrorist is. We all know what terrorism is. Terrorism is creating fear through some sort of a incident that is aimed to change a policy of a person, a corporation, or a country. Some sort of threat or actual use of violence to change policies. That's what terrorism is. Okay. All right. Well, that would include, I think, marching at night threatening our Supreme Court justice. It would also include those who went in on January 6th and actually bust down the door and were threatening people. Yes, that would be terrorism too. Parading as a grandmother on January 6th, because that's what a lot of people are being charged with. Parading, that's not terrorism. That's parading. Do you know that I don't think anyone at any time in any country in the history of mankind have ever said that parents showing up at a meeting saying, hey, guys, you're teaching my kid to question their own sexuality and whether they're a male or a female? I don't think that's a good idea. Terrorist. There's nobody that's ever defined a parent caring about his child as a terrorist. Until now. So we've had that change. We've had the change. This is all from the Biden administration. We've had the change of the word insurrectionist. Now, what is insurrection? Because I would define that as people who are plotting a hostile takeover of the country, which isn't what the right is doing. It's what the left is doing. It's what Antifa does, along with terrorism. How about voter suppression? That's a new one. We all know what voter suppression is. Somebody standing at the polls going, I don't think you're going to vote today, boy. That's voter suppression. Saying, no, I don't think Mark Zuckerberg should pay to have these collection boxes there out, all throughout the community, and we should change the way we're voting is voter suppression. That's just called going back to the way it always has been. The other word that he's changed is illegal alien. Now, we used to say those are people who are migrants who are entering the country illegally. Alien, not meaning those from outer space, but those from another country. They are alien to our country, just like an American in Germany is an alien to Germans. Got it? It's not a derogatory thing. It's just the definition of what that person is in that country that is foreign to them. So alien is under attack, has been under attack for a while, but now we have undocumented citizens or non-citizen. And the new language saying that they're a non-citizen, I don't know how inclusive that really is. I mean, it sounds pretty dehumanizing myself. I mean, you're a non-citizen, so what does that make me? Nothing? Illegal aliens are going to be defined as voters soon. So they're changing the language because what was it, Sarah, that Michelle Obama said years ago? Something that Barack knew.
And Barack knows that we are going to have to make sacrifices. We are going to have to change our conversation. We're going to have to change our traditions, our history. We're going to have to move into a different place.
Yeah. Here's another thing that Biden is changing. The definition of pro-police. Now, what does anti-police mean? Let's start there. Anti-police. That would be someone who says we should abolish the cops. All policemen are dirty. All policemen are racist. That they just higgledy-piggledy get up in the morning, throw their badge on, even if they're still just wearing a towel. They're so excited to go out and just shoot black people. That, I think, would be anti-police. But Biden is changing this. If you're anti-police, you're someone who disagrees with his gun bans. That makes you anti-police. Now, I'm trying to figure that out because I don't think it's an AR that is shooting policemen. I mean, you could say, well, it's just anti-people. It's anti-school safety. You could say that. Wouldn't be accurate, but you could say that. Anti-police? Why is he changing the definition of the word anti-police? Because we're riddled with crime. They have to blame the gun because the gun is tied directly in people's minds to red state people. Red state people are Donald Trump people. So you make it all about the gun because the people in the cities, they understand how to stay safe. Really? Do you, New York? Do you? Is that really? I didn't. Wow, that's news to me. Oh, by the way, when you change the language, you can then claim that you're a big part in making gas prices so much lower and people are happy about it. That's the latest claim from Joe Biden. We now have 40,000 gas stations in the United States where the price of gas is only $3.99. Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. By the way, $3.99 is still the highest Americans have ever paid for gas. Some restrictions apply. Hawaii and California not included. $3.99. Let's celebrate, everybody.